Welcome to the Cross Canada Spotlight. I'm Ross Hall. Every week we take a look at a handful of the most interesting and entertaining stories produced across the Global News Network. First up on this mid-December weekend, we take you to Alberta, where it wasn't only holiday lights brightening the night sky this past week, but a fireball entering our atmosphere. Here's what witnesses saw as the meteor arrived with a bang.
Like the whole house moved.
Mandy McClenaghan is one of many Albertans who saw and felt what experts believe to be a meteor that fell from the sky south of our city.
I was watching TV in my living room with my cat. We were just chilling. It was close to 10 and we heard a huge boom. My windows all shook.
Caitlin Kostenuk lives just north of Rocky Mountain House. Her doorbell camera also catching a glimpse of the light show.
And it was a bright flashing light going through the sky. And the way that I described it is it honestly looked like there was somebody standing right outside this window here with a flashlight going like this.
Frank Florian from the TELUS World of Science says he believes it was a meteor, or what he calls a fireball or bolide, that entered our Earth's atmosphere Tuesday evening.
When these things get down low enough in the Earth's atmosphere can't move out of the way. And that object just basically, it's like hitting a brick wall, will just explode.
Florian says it's that explosion that creates a shock wave. That's the big boom people heard and felt.
Just one boom, one window shake, and then that was it.
I heard a rumbling, and it sounded kind of like a semi-truck slowing down.
Florian says meteor sightings like this aren't too common. He says a piece of the meteor could be somewhere south of our city. And while finding a meteorite is like finding a needle in a haystack, if you find one, it could be worth thousands of dollars. Chris Chacon, Global News.
Fascinating to hear these first-hand accounts from people who were otherwise having a routine night, then just like that witness out-of-this-world phenomena. Plus, yet another use for those doorbell cameras besides catching porch pirates. Well, it can all seem exciting from Earth, but space travel can be lonely and isolating, which takes us to BC, where SFU researchers have developed a virtual reality experience to help astronauts feel more at home in the cosmos.
A deer grazing, campfire crackling, the sun setting, sights and sounds to help astronauts feel grounded.
So you put it on like a scuba diving mask?
Katrina Stepanova, an SFU student, created this virtual reality simulation.
Oh wow, this looks very real.
To allow those traveling through space to still feel connected to Earth.
And it connects to this experience of camping with your family when you were a kid, and you kind of get to connect with nature and your friends there.
And it's really taken off, now being used at a space flight simulation in Moscow, Russia.
It's a partial view of the simulated station.
Several space agencies, including NASA, are taking part in more than 70 experiments examining psychological and physical effects of long-duration space flights. A crew of 6 are now locked into this grounded spacecraft for 8 months, roughly the time it takes to get to Mars. Stepanova's virtual reality experience is being used to try and reduce some of the harmful effects of isolation.
We know that people have cognitive decline, so literally your brain deteriorates if you're in space, if you don't move, if you're in zero gravity. Can we provide them with something that might help them to reconnect?
But the VR experience has also expanded its use during the pandemic, offering people in lockdown or isolation a feeling of the outside world.
We all experience this, basically what it means like to be isolated from the people we love, that we care about. We're not allowed to go into nature, to go anywhere, to move, to travel, to see each other.
With another 7 months to go until these volunteers get to leave the simulated spacecraft, Stepanova won't know the results of the VR experiment for some time.
The ideal outcome would be that it was able to support their emotional state, help them relax, kind of reduce their stress levels.
But there's hope that one day one of her VR experiences actually makes it into space. Until then, she plans to keep...
Hopefully it's the first step to a longer journey.
Shooting for the stars. Kamal Karmali, Global News.
Space travel is such a huge undertaking, with the spotlight often placed on the flashy technology involved, but great work by that SFU team to zero in on the humans guiding the spacecraft and highlighting how good mental health can be very key to a successful mission. To Ontario now, where a Toronto woman is working to create a curriculum to bring more awareness and knowledge of afro-textured hair to beauty schools across Canada.
Like your curl definition's definitely coming out a lot more.
Caring for textured hair is TK Prentice Cupid's specialty. She's been doing it professionally for the past 6 years.
So you just have to make sure that you're not over manipulating.
It's a skill that makes her a rarity in this industry, if you ask her.
I would work at salons where there were advertisements or images of Black women or mixed race women with texture in their hair, but they were lacking the product that worked well with those textures.
It's a gap she's seen throughout her career, especially working in Eurocentric salons. She says beauty salons and schools in Canada aren't given proper training on how to care for textured hair.
Our hair needs the most love. It needs a certain amount of attention that not everybody's willing to do. Most people in the world have textured hair, and only 30% of the population is being represented.
The final straw, though, came for TK when she created a poll on social media asking other professional stylists how comfortable they feel taking care of textured hair. The results were startling.
99% said that they didn't feel confident in the training that they got in school. 37% of them then said that they felt confident over time in their career. It just means that they learned what they learned by trial and error. And it's unfortunate because our hair shouldn't be an experiment. People should have the tools that they need from school.
So TK created her own tool, Textured Hair EDU, a first-of-its-kind curriculum focused on bringing textured hair education into beauty schools across Canada.
Not only do we want to provide classes, but we actually want to go in the Ministry of Ontario's face and be like, you need to put curly hair, afro-textured hair education into your schools.
She hasn't received an answer yet on whether they plan to implement her curriculum, but TK's already hit the ground running.
Silk press class where I was teaching anyone that signed up how to blow dry, style, wash, and straighten afro-textured hair.
Yet TK says she's hoping the ministry will implement her curriculum to replace the current one that exists, which she says is outdated.
The services that are a requirement for stylists to know are like relaxers and perms, and that's the extent of the textured hair education. And there's more women wearing their hair naturally curly. It's great to have classes and courses to teach people and train people, but until the standard is actually confronted, nothing will change.
Kayla McLean, Global News.
Great work by Takia to develop those training skills, as well as seeing the knowledge gap existing in that area of professional hairstyling and raising awareness about the lack of any official learning guide recognized by the industry. Back to Alberta now, where the season of giving is shining bright in Lethbridge, thanks to a group of friends leaving a substantial tip for a server at a local restaurant. Check this out.
There's $6.90 in here. Everything's yours after the bill's paid.
One Lethbridge server was the recipient of an early Christmas gift this weekend after her table left her a massive tip. 14 women pooled their money together, gathering $690, leaving more than $400 for Kendall Caldwell once the tab was settled.
I was in shock, like major shock. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to feel. I just broke.
Brianne Dobler had seen something similar on social media, so she and a group of friends decided to help someone out together. And it was Dobler's mom who had the perfect recipient in mind.
Kendall went to my mom's high school where she works, and my mom just adored her. So she's like, I know where we're going. So she phoned management and arranged it under an alias.
Getting organized was the easy part. The hard part? Keeping it a secret throughout the meal.
I'm not a good secret keeper when it comes to surprises like this. I wanted to tell her right off the hop, but yeah, it all worked out.
And Caldwell was floored when she received the news.
I had to leave after. I couldn't contain myself. I had to go home.
You'll see in the video all the middle-aged ladies are crying, and it was great.
The group hopes by sharing their story, it will encourage others to take up the cause and spread some goodwill. The ripple effect is already in motion, with some friends in Sherwood Park planning to do the same.
It wasn't for this, to be recognized or whatever. It's just, hopefully it'll start a trend. And there's a lot of people out there that this will help, and it's just a feel-good thing for everybody involved.
Even though it's been 2 days since Caldwell received the good news, she still finds it hard to believe.
Still, like, I'll watch the video and I'll start crying again, and even just thinking about it, I start crying again.
Eric Bay, Global News.
Early Christmas gift indeed. What a moment of pure joy and awe for Kendall when she got that gratuity. But as good as she felt, you can see how much happiness the group of friends who planned all this are getting in return. Let's hope that act of kindness sparks even more giving throughout the community. Well, like them or not, ugly sweaters are a mainstay during the holiday season. And as you'll see in this next story from Toronto, thanks to a local company, they're not only the life of the party, but in a pandemic world, they can be one way of getting in.
First, there was paper. Then there were QR codes. Now there's a new way to display your vaccine status with a festive twist. Behold the ugly sweater passport.
It's not an ugly thing that we're vaccinated. In fact, it's a really good thing. There's no reason to hide it.
Created by a local marketing and advertising agency, The Hive, the one-of-a-kind sweaters display the wearer's vaccination status as a QR code.
Just your name and your date of birth. There's no other information. And when we make a sweater, right away we get rid of all that information.
Hitting up a bar for a pint or eggnog? Gone are the days of frantically fumbling in your phone for your vaccine passport while others wait in line.
This makes it simple, makes it easy to walk right in and get to the fun.
The company says the code is totally scannable and will gain you entry into any establishment. But I'm a bit of a skeptic, so I put it to the test myself. It works! Simon says the sweater won't replace your official government docs.
It's in addition to, not instead of. So this is really just for some holiday fun. You'll still need to bring your proper status and your ID.
I think they're quite clever.
For Adrian, wine director at this wine bar, the time-saving aspect alone makes her eager to get in on this.
It makes my job really, really easy, and you're never going to forget your vaccine passport.
As for how much these festive threads cost,
the sweaters are free.
Just sign up online for a chance to snag one of these sweaters to wear your status proudly on your sleeve or chest. Kayla McLean, Global News.
You had me at ugly sweater, but throw in the QR code and sign me up. Even if it's not a full replacement for government ID, seems much more fun than having to fumble through your phone to find that vaccine passport. Well, that's it for Cross Canada Spotlight this week. Be sure to watch Global News Weekend Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7 a.m. on the Global TV app and Amazon Prime Video.